Today on the spot, we got a demo for Ivy the Kiwi and give away copies of the game in our trivia segment. Sega stops by to show off a new trailer for Sonic 4 Episode 1, and we bring you Part 3 of Video Game History Month. Today on the spot.
And that's right, folks. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Today on the Spot. It's Thursday, May 20th, and I'm Chris Waters, joined by Kevin Van Ord. Kevin, how is this Thursday treating you?
It's going absolutely wonderfully.
Wonderfully? I'm glad to hear it. I have a question to pose to you.
Oh, yeah?
Ivy the Kiwi?
No. It's Ivy the Kiwi.
Okay, I like it, actually. There's only one question mark at the end of the title, but you're going with it, and you're getting creative, and I like your creativity.
No, I just added like a little ellipsis in there, and maybe a semicolon and a colon, and
You are a improvisational master when it comes to grammar.
Absolutely.
And our copy edit department loves it. This is our trivia gift for whoever can answer our sweet question coming up later. We got a Wii copy, we got a DS copy, and you're gonna get a look at the game in our daily demo in just a little bit. But first, it's over to the news desk for the latest headlines. Hey everybody, it's a GameSpot news update for Thursday, May 20th. I'm Brendan Sinclair, substituting for Tor Thorson, who's currently fighting extradition in the Mexican legal system. Ubisoft disappointed tactical shooter fans this week when it revealed Ghost Recon Future Soldier was even more futuristic than previously thought. Citing a very competitive environment this holiday season, Ubisoft delayed the game to the first quarter of 2011. While the holiday season's lineup won't be brought into focus until next month's Electronic Entertainment Expo, the last stretch of 2010 could play host to a veritable brigade of military shooters. In addition to Activision's Call of Duty Black Ops, Electronic Arts is preparing a revival of its Medal of Honor franchise, and even in the tactics-focused subgenre, Sony has the Zipper-developed SOCOM 4 set for release by year's end. In other news, Blizzard Entertainment has revealed a new subscription service for people who already subscribe to World of Warcraft. For $3 a month, World of Warcraft Remote will allow players to manage their in-game auction house activities from a web browser or through the World of Warcraft mobile Armory app for the iPhone and the iPod Touch. The service is currently in beta, with all World of Warcraft players able to use the features for free. Once the service goes live, bidding and buying out auctions, placing items up for sale, collecting gold, and relisting items through World of Warcraft Remote will all be limited to those players who sign up for the additional subscription fee. It's like they always say, you have to spend money to make money. Only in this case, you have to spend real money to make fake money if you're too lazy to log into the game and handle your auctions there. That's your GameSpot news update for Thursday, May 20th. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com. Kevin.
yes.
Kiwi, define.
Well, a kiwi could be a delicious fruit with
True.
green inside and
Little seeds,
Yeah.
get the spoon in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good fruit.
Kiwi could also be somebody from New Zealand, for example.
New Zealand.
Absolutely. Yeah, good accent.
I don't know, we'll see.
You've been working on that.
I think the comments will bear out whether that was good or bad.
No, I think I can comment right now, but I won't. And then, of course, a kiwi could be, a flightless bird that also happens to live in New Zealand.
Perhaps a flightless bird with still some shell left on its head, like maybe it wasn't all the way done hatching.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's trying hard, but there are sinister rats and birds. I mean, it's tough out there for a kiwi.
That's a little creepy, actually. You know who knows more about kiwis?
Who?
Sophia freaking Tong. And we are going to go and have a look at Ivy the Kiwi with Sophia Tong right now. Take it away, Sophia.
Hey everyone, welcome to our daily demo. I'm joined by Jimmy Soga from Xseed. Welcome, thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, so you brought a couple of games with you today, Ivy the Kiwi on the Wii and DS. So tell us about the game.
So Ivy the Kiwi, it's an action platformer created by the famous Yuji Naka.
The guy who created Sonic?
Correct.
Ah.
So he hasn't been creating any action platformers in a while, so this is his new prodigy, I guess. And yeah, it's for the Wii and DS, and you'll be able to control Ivy, which is a kiwi. For people who don't know, it's actually a bird.
A bird from New Zealand?
Yes, it can't fly and it runs around on its feet, but anyway.
So what's the story behind Kiwi?
So she was born in the forest, and she hatched, and she looked around. All these forest animals are looking at her, but she can't find her mom. And with a little watery eye, she's on an adventure to look for her mom. So the game itself, for gameplay-wise, Ivy, you won't be able to control Ivy, which is kind of rare for an action game.
Yeah.
She runs back and forth independently.
Yeah, she's always moving in one direction.
In one direction, she hits the wall, she runs back.
Yeah.
But as a player, you'll be able to use vines. You can draw them using the Wii remote or the stylus, depending on the platform. And yeah, you manipulate and you control the vines to guide her to her destination.
So how many vines can you draw? Because you just kind of draw them on the screen?
Yes, you'll be able to draw 3 lines at once.
At once. And it's also kind of springy.
Yes.
You can kind of launch her.
So you'll be able to swing it, you'll be able to stretch it, pull on it. If you pull on it and Ivy's on top, you can actually use it as a slingshot. You'll propel her skywards and she'll be able to drill through blocks or enemies, and that's her way of attacking.
So how's the game evolved? Like, this is kind of like a storybook vibe to it. How many stages are there?
Altogether, there's going to be 100 stages, so it's a pretty good, decent game. But the first 50 stages, if you finish that, you'll be actually see the storybook unfold.
So Ivy's constantly moving. What's the technique behind getting her to where she needs to go?
So in the very beginning, you'll have, I think player will just struggle just trying to guide her by drawing a vine so she can walk towards the goal, but later on you'll be able to use more moves, like you can swing her, you can use it as a slingshot, you can actually spin her around with a vine. So the more you get used to it, the better you'll get. And that was one of the things that Naka-san said is for a platform game or action game, he really enjoys the moment that you actually feel like you're getting better, that you're scaling up as a player. So in this game, you can really feel that you're getting better at it. And also, other than the vines and other than Ivy, there's other items that you can use in the stage, like a boulder, which is like a big rock. You can guide that forward you so it crosses barriers, or it can defeat enemies for you, and then Ivy will be walking right behind it.
Very cool. Anything else you want to add?
But more than me, yeah. Naka-san will be coming for E3, so he'll be able to describe what the game's about, what kind of passion he had behind this game, and why he created this game. So he's really passionate, and it's something that he's really proud of. So I guess people can hear what he has to say about it firsthand within the stage.
All right, great. So when is the game coming out and on what platforms?
Right now we're thinking summer of 2010, just around the corner, and it'll be for Wii, DS, and DSiWare, and WiiWare.
Oh, so what's the Wii and DSiWare?
DSi and WiiWare, we're going to call it Ivy the Kiwi Mini. It's only going to contain 50 stages, so 50 of the actual storybook part, and there's no co-op.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And be sure to stay tuned for the end of the show, because they're also giving away some retail copies of Ivy the Kiwi when it comes out. Now on with the rest of the show.
So thank you, Sophia, for that excellent look at Ivy the Kiwi. But speaking of kiwis, you know who loves kiwis, Chris?
No, I can't say that I do.
Kerrigan loves kiwis.
Like the figure skater?
No, that's Nancy Kerrigan, and that's a little disturbing, Chris. No, I'm talking about Karen, the wonderful villainess from 1998 StarCraft.
Yeah, that creepy lady.
Yeah.
I suppose she's a little bit more than a creepy lady.
Yeah, she's just a bit more than a creepy lady, but behind the scenes, she secretly loves munching on kiwis, both the fruit and, the bird.
Are there more juicy tidbits about Kerrigan's secret desires in our Video Game History Month feature coming up? Well, you're just going to have to stay tuned to find out. We've also got Will Wright, the 3DO, and the crazy PS2 launch. There's madness there, people. Madness. Now stare into the eyes of it.
Well, the original StarCraft was such an amazing experience, such a polished, excellent game, that sort of opened up, for me as a player, what real-time strategy could really be. That you could have these races, they're so completely different from one another that you're almost playing a completely different game when you sit down to play a new race. It was so exciting. I remember very distinctly playing this when I was working at Activision at the time, and I couldn't believe, having barely mastered one race, I suddenly realized there's units I'm not using in this race, and there's 2 more races I haven't even begun to touch yet, let alone understand how it works when I have different matchups, right? It was such an intense experience to sort of realize how deep the gameplay experience really was.
The 3DS system was probably guilty of being ahead of its time. It was using a lot of advanced technologies that have become very common and standardized, but at that time they were a little bit too expensive.
In a lot of ways, I see the 3DO as kind of being the precursor to the PlayStation.
The little brother PlayStation that also cost like twice as much as the PlayStation.
The thing that I remember about the 3DO is that it was $700.
Some of the games I remember early on, Way of the Warrior.
For the last time, warriors from all over the planet amidst the last competition. Welcome, noble challenger. Prepare to ride the way.
Way of the Warrior, man. Naughty Dog. So, you know, we all know Crash Bandicoot, we all know, you know, Uncharted 2. Well, before Uncharted 2, there was Way of the Warrior. And Way of the Warrior was straight up this fighting game they made for the 3DO. Rob Zombie's music was going awesome in Way of the Warrior.
Round 1, fight.
With such games as SimCity, The Sims, and Spore to his credit, Will Wright is considered one of the greatest game designers of all time. Responsible for some of the best-selling games of all time, his contribution to interactive entertainment is matched by no one. If anyone says the game industry doesn't think outside the box enough, they haven't met Will Wright. While the rest of the industry was off building yet another science fiction or fantasy game, Will Wright was thinking of ways to create tools that would enable the player to explore their imaginations and create their own worlds. Will Wright began his game designing career with a game called Raid on Bungling Bay, a helicopter action game for the Commodore 64. While simple in concept, Raid on Bungling Bay would be responsible for sowing the seeds for one of the games Wright is most known for, SimCity. While designing his first game, he had so much fun creating the environments, it led him to think about making a game to do just that.
To me, his legacy, at least from a gaming standpoint, is he redefined what can be fun. Redefine what can be a game. You know, it doesn't have to be about racing, or it doesn't have to be about sports or shooting people. It really, what Will Wright did is just change what we think of as games and what can be fun.
All right, folks, now we turn our eyes away from the history books and into current events. Just this morning, Sega came by to sit down with our editor-in-chief, Ricardo Torres, to talk about the fate of Sonic the Hedgehog and his new game, Sonic 4 Episode 1. Take a look at that interview right now.
Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and I am sitting here with Ken Balla from Sega Digital and Aaron Weber, who's community manager over at Sega. And one of the great things about the show is that we can do a bunch of stuff on the fly. So earlier today, Sega made an announcement about Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. Kind of a, I guess we could say, a delay. So we thought we'd get the boys in here to talk about some stuff. So why the delay?
Well, I think it kind of stems from the core attitude that we have with Sonic 4, which is we want to release the best game possible. So we're extending the development cycle of it based on several key factors. I mean, one of them is, you know, we play the game every day and we see some things that obviously could be improved upon, and we want to make sure that those fixes are taken care of. But there's another really key component of this, which is that we've released a lot of official assets to the audience, and we've gotten some terrific feedback from community and from press and everybody, and we wanted to be able to sort of incorporate some of that.
I mean, it's the first time, I think, in the last 10 years, if not even longer, if ever, that we've taken feedback from Sonic fans and are actually making changes to a Sonic game based on that. And I think that's pretty monumental. It's good in the first case just to be able to polish up the game as much as possible to make it the best game that we can. But even more so, I think it's very special because of the fact that we're taking some of the feedback that we've gotten and making things happen with that.
There's one thing I think most of the fans want, and that's just like a really good 2D Sonic game on a console. I think there's been some good stuff on the portable systems, but we haven't exactly seen some magic on a console, so...
In many ways, I think it's the direction of Sonic. I mean, just Sonic as a franchise, and that there's different sort of game styles that go out. You've got your Storybook series of years past, we've had the 3D games, but there's always been a really core group of people that loved the 2D games, and in large part, they kind of enjoyed Sonic Rush, they enjoyed the stuff on the handhelds, but they would have really loved to see another console 2D game. So it's kind of stepping in that direction that I think is a big thing for them, and that's what we're going for.
And so when you talk extended development, you talk about polishing things up, can you talk about any specifics about what is going to get touched and upgraded and tweaked at all?
We're going to be doing everything as far as polish is concerned, but we're also going to be taking a lot of level design considerations. We're going back and we're even going as far as redesigning certain elements of certain levels to make it feel more momentum-based and more momentum-driven.
The physics, I think, are a really big thing, and that's if anything, the biggest thing that the fans have come back and given us feedback on is that the physics look different. And so that's going to be one of the other things that we're also looking at once again, is to try and make it a bit less floaty and a bit more of like the pinball mechanic style that the classic Sonic games were.
Well, you guys did bring one bit of fun for everybody out there. You guys brought a brand new trailer. So we're going to check that. This is the first time the trailer's been shown anywhere. Kind of acknowledges the new release date, but also something that you're going to talk to us about right after. So
sure.
Let's check out that trailer. All right, very familiar stuff. Most of the changes, I guess, aren't in this particular trailer that you guys have mentioned, but one thing's different because it looks like there's a new platform there. So you want to talk to us about that?
Sure. We are very proud to announce that we will have Sonic 4 Episode 1 available for the iPhone, obviously through the iTunes Store. And we will also have 2 exclusive levels on the iPhone that are not on the console versions that really go to the core of the gameplay mechanics of the iPhone itself. And you'll be able to play these different levels on there. But again, they really play to the fact of the touch and the sort of the tilt mechanics that the iPhone sort of offers you. So I think what we've also gone ahead and done with this sort of secret platform until now is develop a terrific Sonic 4 experience, but also taking into account what that platform does, just as we're doing with the console versions, where we're taking into account what those can really offer and making sure that they have a terrific Sonic 4 experience.
All right, well then, but you can't say when it's coming out, right? Just late 2010?
We can definitely say that the development has been extended, and it'll be late 2010. Obviously, it will not be coming out this summer as we originally had intended, but I think that ultimately it's for the best because I think everyone's going to be happy once they get it in their hands and see what Sonic 4 is all about.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, there you go. That is your update on today's news about Sonic 4's date moving, and hey, new platform, so that's something. Now, besides the new trailer, the boys also brought by this t-shirt, which we will be giving away. It is a Project Needle Mouse, back when that's what the game was called. Project Needle Mouse crew t-shirt that we'll be giving away with a trivia question provided by Aaron. So Aaron, what is the question people need to answer in order to get this shirt?
All right, so it's a Project Needle Mouse t-shirt. So the appropriate question for that then. Needle Mouse, Mr. Needle Mouse, was one of Sonic's original character names. We want to know who was the guy that actually came up with that name and was one of the original creators of Sonic as a character.
All right, well, there you go. That is it for right now on Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. Be sure and check back on the site, especially during E3, because we're going to have a lot more in the game in the weeks and months to come. Until then, let's check back and see what else is going on the show.
Well, there's the latest on Sonic. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of him sometime down the road. I have little doubt we will. But now we're on to our proper trivia this time around. We're not just giving away secret bonus t-shirt trivia. We're sticking with what we promised you earlier on the show, copies of Ivy the Kiwi for the Wii and DS. If you'd like to participate in this trivia, you're going to have to answer the question that Kevin's got for you in a second. Just remember when he's done that when you send in your answer, you got to choose Wii or DS. Because otherwise you might end up with something, what? All right, Kevin, what's the question?
All right, so I got the question for you.
Yeah.
Now, Kiwis are a member of the Ratite family. Who knew? You learn something new every day, right? So there are 4 other members of this family. You have to name 2 birds that are also members of the Ratite family. If you think you can name 2 birds that are members of the Ratite family besides the Kiwi, then what you want to do is click the green button that says Answer Trivia to the right, or send an email to onthespot@gamespot.com and tell us whether you want the DS version or the Wii version of Ivy the Kiwi, and we'll send a copy out to the winners.
And that'll about do it for us here today, folks. But that's not all the video content we got for you this week, and it's not all the Chris Waters and Kevin Van Ord we got for you this week. You can see me with Ryan McDonald on Friday with our Super Mario Galaxy 2 now playing. Got to get our hands into that game and do some long jumps, which are my favorite. Kevin, what do you got in store for us?
Not to mention, I got together with Sony and we took a little Mod Nation Racers.
Yeah, and that'll be airing on the Saturday episode of Today on the Spot. Be sure to tune in for both those things. Now for everyone here on the GameSpot crew, I'm Chris Waters.
I'm Kevin Van Ord.
Have a great week, folks. Have a great week, folks? Now they're cheer up. Oh, those were actual words.
It was a Kiwi.
We're going to talk about daily demo time. Awesome. And that's about going to do it, folks, for us today on the spot. That's weird. That's a weird way to say it.